Noticing it at the movies, at the award shows, and even on stages here in Boston, race is getting another look in 2014. From SpeakEasy Stage Company's The Color Purple to the highly acclaimed movie 12 Years a Slave.
I survive. I will not fall into despair. I will offer up my talents to Master Ford. I will keep myself hardy till freedom is opportune.
So what's behind the renewed interest in slavery and what impact it is having on society? Let's bring in WGBH arts editor Jared Bowen. So is this a concerted effort on the parts of stage and screen, or is it just kind of coincidence that so many are focusing on it?
No, it's coincidence, but it's fascinating what's happening. And I think that when you have a film like 12 Years a Slave come out, which is so intense and so psychological and so intimate about conveying the experience of slavery, that you start to look at different things through a different prism. Right now, for instance, SpeakEasy Stage Company is presenting The Color Purple. And it's fascinating to look at that piece just alone, because 30 years ago, it won Alice Walker the Pulitzer Prize, but was very controversial. It won Steven Spielberg a number of Oscar nominations when he made the film just a couple of years later, but then he won nothing. And it was so controversial because of what it was talking about in terms of race at that time. Its depiction of sexuality and the abuse that was perpetrated upon women of that time in the early 1900s, about how abusive men were. I mean, these were themes that had these books pulled out of libraries. And now here we have a musical adaptation that premiered on Broadway just a couple of years ago, and we have a clip where you see that the themes are still there, even though it's in sort of the fluffier Broadway musical setting, but they still hit home just as much.
Sometimes my husband get on me so hard, it hurt me all over. But he my husband. So I just talk to my old maker. This life will soon be over. Heaven lasts always.
What y'all to do is bash Mrs. Head open and think on heaven later.
And so this is not as controversial anymore, and we can go into a theater setting like this, either when it premieres on Broadway or when it's staged very lavishly and well as it's staged here, and be able to take these themes a little bit better. And this was modified from the original book and film so that there are more redemptive qualities, but they don't come until the end. But you still have basically, essentially, scenes of abuse and of rape and incest. I mean, these are tough themes put on the stage, but I think that we're able to ingest them a little bit more now. Yeah,
and you say there's yet another piece across town that has as tough dialogue as 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, at the same time we're seeing these pieces, there's a piece called We Are Proud to Present a Presentation, and this is being staged at Arts Emerson along with Company One. And this is a piece where you have a group of actors that come to, you feel like you're in a rehearsal room because it's very intimate theater space. And these actors are trying to figure out how they're going to give a lecture on basically the first modern-day genocide that happened in Germany. And you can see here, it's very lighthearted, the way they're coming together. It's very meta because they're talking about how they're going to stage this piece. But then once they start to get into these themes of genocide, and they depict the genocide, and they depict murder, and they depict about how African Americans were treated and enslaved and abused, it becomes this entirely different piece, especially as you see these young actors having trouble sort of figuring out for themselves how they're going to communicate this violence, what stories they should give it. It's a very, very tough piece to watch, and one I think we are only sort of prepared to watch right now.
All right, and tomorrow you've got something that's equally fascinating. This is about the movie Her and the believability factor that somebody could actually have a relationship with a computer or a piece of technology.
Yeah, this is a very interesting movie, and we'll tell you whether or not it's plausible that you could fall in love with your operating system.
You apparently think it is.
You're giving me away tomorrow already, Emily. You always do this to me.
You know I do that. All right, Jared, thanks so much. That's all the time we have. If you missed any of tonight's Greater Boston, you can always find us online at WGBHnews.org. And we love hearing from you. Email us at greaterboston@WGBH.org. I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching Greater Boston. Stay with WGBH News wherever you go, on TV, on radio, online, on mobile. WGBH News, local depth, local perspective.